shared and spent with each other. The laughs, the anger, the peace, the sadness, and lastly, the hope. I want to remind you that even though we leave La Scuola and its halls, classrooms, offices, and gardens that remind us of who we are and what we have created together, that we may be able to continue to grow as courageous and loving human beings, that we may be able to remember what we strive for here at La Scuola, inspiring brave learners to shape the future. May we all be able to create that future with strength and wisdom, to be great people one day. I, along with teachers and families, hope that each day and every one of us have as many blessings to love and to learn each day. Thank you. And now I want to welcome our head of school, Valentina.
Grazie everyone. Buongiorno again, and congratulations to La Scuola class of 2020, which is you. You're the first ever 8th grade class at La Scuola, and I'm humbled and honored to be with you today. And La Scuola is better for each and every one of you. We all had envisioned a very different celebration for this founding class that would have included a commemorative event for all of our founding pioneers who helped to bring La Scuola to this historic moment. We fully intend to bring the class of 2020 together with all those who made it possible, from our founding board of directors and parents to the administrator and teachers who took the leap of faith to build La Scuola. When it's safe together, together again. We wish you to be here today, all of you that brought us here today, and grazie di cuore for what you have done. Looking forward to the future celebration. The last 3 months have presented us and the world with a unique and unexpected challenge. And while we cannot choose what cards life deals us, once they're in hand, we must decide how to play them. I'm so proud of how you, students, played yours and how you showed us your ability to adapt and thrive under less than ideal circumstances. I hope that La Scuola not only prepared you academically, but it also showed you how to overcome obstacles, look beyond yourself, and to enthusiastically continue on this journey we call life. You know that I like telling stories, so today will be no different, and I'm gonna tell you a story about a young woman. Her name was Adriana, and I will try not to get emotional, I promise, and she was my grandmother. So Adriana was born in 1926, which means that she was exactly your age when World War II started. It was definitely not a good time to be a teenager. She could not go to school, she was hungry, and she was scared most of the time. So this is 1940. As the war went on and the Mussolini government eventually fell in 1943, the Nazi forces invaded Italy. And the so-called resistance movement was formed to liberate Italy, and then eventually joined with the Allied forces that were coming to the peninsula. Adriana was now 17, and the 2 older brothers, and her boyfriend too, had already gone to the mountains to join the rebel fight. So she could have simply waited at home and watched how the events would unfold, but she made a very different choice. Adriana became a staffetta partigiana, which is someone who brought messages to the men on the mountains, and sometimes more than messages, we will not say that today, across the Nazi picket lines every day. She biked 30 kilometers pretty much every day, rain, snow, or sunshine. She bought fresh eggs to the German soldiers so that they would let her through, always hoping that they would not look under a bicycle basket where she was storing messages and other things. She always told me they were humans too. Adriana, my grandmother, was actually a brave and fearless person. But her older sister, Tina, was not. Tina was very scared every single day. Tina would cry and she would say, they will kill us, they will catch us every single day as she was riding the bike together with Adriana. But she still went along. When I asked my grandmother why they did that, she told me that they were fighting for their brothers, their friends, their boyfriends, but also for their freedom and also for our freedom and your freedom, the freedom we all enjoy today. So in the heart, they knew that sometimes our choices can have an impact on the future of our country, on fellow human beings, and on the whole planet. So when life throws you a curveball, embrace the challenge with courage, sense of humor, curiosity, integrity, kindness, and joy. Always with joy. Remember that life is bigger than us. And when someone tells you, and I'm going to use the beautiful words of Loris Malaguzzi here, the work and play, reality and fantasy, science and imagination, sky and earth, and reason and dream are things that do not belong together. Don't listen to them, because they do. Live life to its fullest and be open to the world. I would like to end with a quote from one of my favorite books, The Little Prince. Of course I'll hurt you. Of course you'll hurt me. Of course we will hurt each other. But this is the very condition of existence. To become spring means accepting the risk of winter. To become presence means accepting the risk of absence. I send you all into the world with the confidence you will find your own winding road to your chosen beautiful destination. Andrà tutto bene?
Graduates, class of 2020, I admit I was wrong. When I started teaching you in the spring of your 6th grade, and you were lying on the floor, eating the classroom materials, everybody talking at the same time, I predicted in a doomsday voice, we'll never get you ready for high school. I remember saying, you can't get there from here. You have more than proved me wrong. You have become scholar activists, ready for far more than high school, which is a good thing because we need you for more than just high school students now. You well know our mission is to inspire brave learners to shape the future. Well, the future is here, and I trust you to engage it with courage and care. I want to reflect with you briefly about the 4 years ahead. If middle school is focused on foundational skills and habits, I think your high school growth has a lot more to do with your personal interests and values. High school is a time for coming to understand what you care about, what your own deep interests are. I went off to high school in the late summer of 1984. I had nowhere near the reading and writing and critical thinking skills you have today. My primary interest was skateboarding. How did I develop, over the course of my high school career, a vocation? Because in hindsight, my direction was set by 18. No single course made a difference. There was no aha moment. As I look back today, it was one thing that manifested itself in 2 different ways. Influence. Outside of school, my love of skating led me into the punk rock music scene, and that deeply influenced my understanding of art and politics and American history. These activities, skating and going to punk shows that seemed dangerous distractions to my parents, were in fact deeply formative of my worldview. The other way in which influence manifests itself was in my high school teachers. You won't be surprised to hear that I fell under the spell of my English, Spanish, and history teachers. Their passion for their subjects, not just what they taught, but what they were interested in, had a deep impact on me. Honestly, I wish I had found such a role model in science, but that did not happen until I met Aisha Ursulan. The good news is that it is never too late to be influenced and to grow in new directions. So I'm not suggesting that you dismiss your parents out of hand when they say, I don't like how these new friends are influencing you. They will likely be responding to something real. But rather than having a reactionary defense of your friends, which I did, explore how you are growing in relationship to others. Your parents' reactions are helping you see something. On the school side, take an active interest in the teachers you like. They will reciprocate. Do this next fall. Don't wait until 11th grade. Your responsibility in the next 4 years is to connect with friends and mentors, to prepare yourself to outgrow your family, to bring into your life a much wider variety of influences as you construct your adult self. Graduates, I know that you already have interests: boxing, photography and filmmaking, writing, reading, singing, playing music and acting, yoga, woodworking, and baking. I think these interests are as important as the classes you will take over the next few years. I also know that the opportunities presented to you by the year 2020, climate change and the global pandemic and the global uprising for racial justice are all invitations to you to discover your personal skills and values. Class of 2020, it's a brilliant time to be a teenager. There are more ways to shape the future than you and I can imagine. The future is calling to you. Answer the call. I'm going to miss you so much, but I trust that we will stay connected. Congratulations. I'd like to introduce our first student speaker, Kiara Bolton.
Good morning, fellow young scholars, teachers, and distinguished guests. I feel so honored to be here today. These times have been difficult and transformational for us, but we have been immensely resilient, creative, and brave, finding ways to continue to learn, to connect with each other. Who knew TikTok could be a form of emotional expression? And to try to face this once-in-a-lifetime experience with some optimism. La Scuola taught us this: to be resilient, to solve problems rather to drown in them, and to hold each other up in good times and in bad. But enough about sadness. Let's reflect on our time at La Scuola. As the first graduating class, we pioneered our way to the finish line. Essentially the guinea pigs of the school. Some things went well, others not so much. We took pride in being the first to do the PYP exhibition, to have policies and rules created because of our actions, and in laying the foundation, literally at times, for the classes that will come after us. We are master improvisers, and through all the assignments, assessments, and homework, we learned that education, above all, is essential. And together, we are strong and can get through anything. Of course, we could not be here today without those who taught us, the teachers and our parents. We are thankful. You all have not only given us new knowledge, but have prepared us for whatever may come at us in this world. You have taught us about race, gender, ethnicity, and how to be a model citizen. You have prepared us, and we are ready to go on to the next step. So, on the behalf of each and every one of us, grazie infinite. John Dewey said, education is not preparation for life. Education is life. We definitely learned that here. Every adventure was a new chance to learn. And from that learning, we grew into the people that we are today. We may be leaving La Scuola behind to venture into the new world, but the lessons and friends that we made here will never leave us. Thank you, La Scuola. We love you.
Hello, I'm back. I'm now gonna call to the podium a friend of La Scuola, someone who has really supported us in the last 4 years in a way that is unprecedented. So it is my honor to introduce you to the Italian Consul General for Inter.
Buongiorno ragazzi, è una grande emozione essere qui oggi con voi. La prima terza media parte della scuola italiana americana di San Francisco ad essere promossa al liceo. Bravissimi. You have now become our new ambassadors of Italian language and culture in your new schools where you will start in a couple of months. With their traditions and hard work, I want to recall Italians in the Bay Area of San Francisco have shaped this wonderful city. They managed to bring strong values and new ideas to this part of the world. There was Amadeo Giannini, who created a more humane financial banking system at the Bank of America and allowed, finally, women to open their own bank account without the consent of a man. Can you believe that? There were mayors like Aliotto and Moscone, whose strong visions for the future of the city enhanced human rights. There was Gaetano Merola, the founder of the Opera House of San Francisco, and we can't forget Lawrence Ferlinghetti, the creator of the literary movement of the Beat Generation, and Mario Savio, who led the free speech movement in Berkeley, and Federico Faggin, the inventor of the microprocessor that accelerated the creation of what is now known as the Silicon Valley. And the list goes on and on. All these Italian and Italian Americans shared a strong cultural background and a belief that they could change the world and make it a better place. Italian culture, language, style, design, and innovation are beloved and admired today by every country in the world. You have been exposed to the Italian way of life for many years here at La Scuola. You have been taught, first of all, to look inside yourself, thanks to the teachings of Loris Malaguzzi, the creator of the Reggio Emilia educational system, and you have followed all these years. I am sure he is smiling today upon all of you. We count on you to contribute to the world's future through an Italian lens. The city of San Francisco was named after Saint Francis of Assisi, who was an Italian saint from central Italy and as the patron saint of Italy. And I would like to end with something he said that I hope will resonate with you in your future years of study. I quote, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible." We have no doubts you will achieve the impossible. As Doug just said, you have all the right instrument to do it, and we count on you. Congratulazioni, ragazzi. E grazie Valentina, grazie Doug, grazie a tutti gli insegnanti per il vostro prezioso lavoro. E viva la classe del 2020. Bravissimi.
I'd like to invite our student speaker, Luca Ortona.
Buongiorno a tutti. I'm very happy to be here. After 3 months of seeing you all on Zoom calls, it's a pleasure to see your entire non-pixelated face and to know that my voice won't break up mid-sentence. At least now I know that you are really looking at me and not watching a Netflix show while I'm speaking. I will start with a story about us. But I can't just tell one story, because we grew up in the process of telling and learning many stories. Stories together that tell who we are as a class and as individuals. Let's start with our trip to Yosemite. Together, we spent 5 days there. And I think I can speak on behalf of others when saying it was one of the best moments we experienced as a community. We studied fire ecology in many different ways. We lay down on the ground while dozing off the birds chirping, maintained the forest by removing the underbrush to prevent major wildfires from occurring, submerged your heads in ice-cold water of Yosemite's rivers and even got scared by the impression of a psycho killer roaming the cabins, only to find out later that it was an odd teacher at another school Halloween pranking his students. Those 5 days for us were a true blessing because we learned more about each other and were able to reach beyond our daily friendships by turning passing acquaintances into newfound close friends. We learned as well that, in a way, we are all crazy in a good way. What does that mean? Each one of us sees the world so differently, but we are curious to understand how the other one sees it. Our teachers helped us see that way through various different lenses. And as a photographer, I love the photos that I'm watching develop. Then another memory, our first dance. We had our first dance at the Marin Prep School. And if I'm not mistaken, none of us had ever attended a dance before in our lives. We showed up in a suit and tie or a dress, most likely chosen by our parents, only to learn that we were the only ones who were dressed fancy. But we rolled with it and played the silly balloon game, because that's what we do. We roll with what's given to us, with curiosity, creativity, and craziness. After our unsuccessful attempt at trying to interact with other students at Marin Prep, we sat down at the only picnic table, pooled our petty cash, giving lovingly from our parents, and ate a mega-sized box of Oreos. We waited until our parents picked us up. Some of us danced, some of us didn't, but we didn't mind looking foolish together. Again, we were comfortable in our craziness together in a good way. And can we talk about our community project? I mean, how crazy was that? Just when we started to get into the flow of it, the outbreak of COVID-19 hit, forcing us all to seriously reconsider how we would complete our projects. Under lockdown, behind a screen, we had to continue to communicate with each other, which, for us, has always come easily. Because if there's one thing that this school has always provided, it is community. And no pixelated image can destroy that. In trying times, we managed to complete some crazy community projects, constructing a shuffleboard, virtual boxing, photographing strangers, virtual outreach, and many more. We were able to complete these projects thanks to our teachers, who always taught us how to think out of the isolated box. And our head of school, Valentina, she was crazy when she proposed the idea of creating an Italian immersion K-8 school in San Francisco. Yet here we are, eccoci qua, the pioneer class of La Scuola, graduating on this wonderful day, because we are all crazy in crazy times, but crazy in a good way. Do you notice a pattern? How our school, our community, has a sense of good crazy, an attribute that is unique in every way. Being good crazy can mean many things, but I think it points to having a genuine, risk-taking personality. Our parents took the risk in enrolling us here and supporting us immensely throughout our years in middle school. Our teachers gave us the opportunity to be good crazy while making us laugh and develop a new perspective of the world. We gave each other the opportunity to be who we are. We are good, crazy people that believe in changing the world. Because as a well-known Californian named Steve Jobs once said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Grazie mille.
We're going to have a musical interlude. One, two.
Sorry. So now we are going to call you over to the table so that you can get your diplomas. And I'm sure that Doug feels the same. We so wish we could hug you, shake your hand, do all of those things we would normally do at la scuola, but unfortunately we cannot. And so I'm going to call you and you're going to come and pick up your diploma and we will do a shake. Chiara Stella Volpi.
Luca Ortona.
Elena Grace Panducci.
Sophia Ferreira.
Hilary Grace Glanville.
Matteo Renzo Ioano.
Felipe Jose Perez.
Sarah Jane Rassick.
Isabella Loretta Rinaldi.
Giacomo James Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen on Zoom, we present to you the graduating class of 2020. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for following us on Zoom, and we look forward to celebrating with all of you in person. Thank you again for everyone that made this possible. You are in our hearts and thoughts, and we can't wait to be together with this incredible class and all of you. Parents, supporters, friends of the school, board members, anyone that was ever involved in the creation of this incredible school. Grazie.
What a beautiful celebration, and leave out to the mural. Just a reminder to our parents to please pick your students up between 11 and 11. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. Congratulations once again for the class of 2020.
Okay.